Hi, everyone. I'm Keith Mathis with the Mathis Group. We are a premier ATP with Project Management Institute. In today's video, 7 Minutes to PMP Exam Mastery, we want to talk about changes to the PMP exam in 2026. These changes are going to make a difference in how people are going to be eligible, as well as how they look at some of the questions in the future. So let's talk about, first off, the rebalancing. In um, in 2026, when the change in July, you're going to notice that there's a rebalancing of the exam weighting. So the biggest one that you're going to see is you'll notice people, which is going to include your teams and all your interactions with all your different teams and all your people issues, is going to drop from 42% to 33%. You'll notice that the process section of the PMP exam is going to drop from 50%, about half of the exam was on processes, to 41%. But you'll notice that business environment, which includes a lot of the cultural type things of happening, tailoring inside your organization, which is one of those because we're going to do a function a certain way inside a certain type of culture of the organization, is probably one of the biggest changes. It's going from an 8%, which was about 15 or 16 questions, to 26%. So they're going to be asking a lot more culture questions in the future as we take the PMP test. Approach in the exam. The exam is going to cover predictive and agile methods and hybrid applications like it has been and is currently. However, one of the things that will be a little different is that agile is even going to be strengthened more. And so if you don't already know this, about 50% of your PMP exam is going to be on agile. And so if you're not understanding much about agile or don't have quite the experience in agile, this would be something for you to download the Agile Standard, which is a free PDF if you're a member of PMI, and read that standard. The standard is not what they're really basing it on, but it will give you the framework for Agile to be able to understand what they're talking about when they start describing some of the questions. There's a greater emphasis on adaptive and real-world project dynamics, which is going to be exciting. So I'm anxious to see what the new exam turns out to be, because the idea of doing something in a real world situation is an exciting way. I think that will potentially help us better in understanding what the question is and being able to frame that question. Eligibility change. This is one that will help some people. This is a globally recognized certification, as you already know, and so the experience has typically been three to 5 years. But the eligibility period is going to go back to 10 years. Typically, people would only be able to go back a handful of years. You'll still start documenting your experience from currently and going backward. But in the past, even before the last change, it was only 8 years that you were able to go back. Now you're going to be able to go back 10 years. That's going to allow you an opportunity to bring in, for those of you who maybe have more military projects and don't have so many in the private sector, this will allow you to be able to qualify in some of these areas maybe a little bit better. For some of you who maybe are raising children, for an example, and have been out of the workforce 3 or 4 years, this might allow you as well to be able to qualify, because you're now able to go back and pull in some of those additional projects. So it's a good thing that we're looking at for eligibility, because you've got such a wider range of projects to be able to pull together for this. So this is a positive thing. Exam questions. You're going to have 180 questions, 240 minutes. It's going to have more interactive and more scenario based, and it's going to reflect real project environments. And so the scenarios that we've been looking at over the years are going to continue to get even more detailed on what is the real world situation. And then let's look at AI. AI is going to be a portion of your test as well. AI and sustainability appear in the context. So AI and sustainability appear in the updated exam as elements of the real-world project context candidates are expected to navigate, rather than as a standalone competencies. So AI is going to be infiltrated into some of these topics, and so you're having to understand how AI would impact your project or impact your organization. With AI, that means scenario-based questions may include AI tools. Much like dashboards or other project artifacts, the exam validates judgment, how a project professional evaluates tools, trade-offs, and implications into a real world. And so we're seeing AI jump into every kind of situation. You're probably seeing this on your real world, and on your job, and so that's happening even here on your PMP test. So we have to consider looking at that a little bit. All right, so as I bring this video to a closure here, let me just remind you that we do PMP boot camps every other month virtually for people across the world. So we'd love to have you in a boot camp. If that would help you and benefit you, please look on our website for the next upcoming boot camp, and I'll see you there, okay? Have a great day. God bless you. Bye now.